Yo, this is Tiana J. I'm actually excited about this one today. I'm actually talking to two wonderful young adults that I've gotten a chance to know throughout their childhood and their teen years. And today I am talking to Trinity and uh, I'm talking to Jay. So I have Trinity Flippin and Jay Baskerville. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good today. Today is a good day. Doing great. How about yourself?
Doing wonderful, doing wonderful. Jay, how are you, sir?
I am doing very well. I'm glad to be here. It's a real true honor.
Good, good, good. Well, I'm just gonna kind of give everybody a little history of who you all are and how we play a role in each other's lives. So, when I was actually a younger adult, I was one of the camp advisors or camp workers at one of the all-girl camps, and Trinity was actually one of the younger campers there. Trinity, do you remember what age you were when we were there?
When did Miss Barbara started it around maybe. Okay, I met her when I was 5, so then she started her own thing like the year after. So I was like 6,
6. Okay,
like
okay.
from the age of 6 to like 8, maybe. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds familiar. Okay, you and your sis, Free. We call her Free, but
Yeah.
yes, I
Right
remember
now.
you all. Yes, love y'all, love y'all. And Jay is actually my younger cousin. His dad is, I guess you call it first cousins or whatnot. So our mothers, me and his dad, our mothers are sisters, and he's actually the son of my cousin. So Jay, I think I'm trying to remember when I first met you. I mean, it's been so many years. Like, I think,
Ooh, that's a blast from
yeah.
the past right there.
Yeah. You know, when you get introduced to the family, you just kind of all over the place. So it's kind of hard to
Yes.
keep up. But man, y'all have both grown actually. And I think I was talking to you all just a second ago to see how long you have been in college. Trinity, ladies first, I guess. If you just want to share your years of experience in college and if you're still in school right now or what.
Yes. So I go. Let me tell you where I go to school at. Is that fine?
No, it's up to you.
Okay. I go to Southern University A&M College in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I am a nursing major. I am supposed to be a junior, but I'm a continuing sophomore. You know, the pandemic, everything. I did take a break, so that's what that is.
Hmm.
But it is my third year here at Southern, and yeah, the experience has been great. The pandemic did kind of put a bump in the road, a big bump actually.
Hmm.
But other than that, I like love my school experience. HBCU life, great experience. Everybody should experience that, really.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
my school. It's great. My experience has been nothing but good for me.
That's good. That's good. And you said nursing. Is that what you said? Your major?
Yes, I'm a nursing major.
Okay. Cool. Jay, what about you, sir? Like, are you still in school? What's school looking like for you as far as experience, or can you tell us?
For me, when I graduated from high school in 2018, and then I went to attend a community college called Ball State. My major I wanted to understand and learn about was business administration.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I was learning the basics of it and attending the classes for it and all the courses that needed to be required. And after that, the more I kept doing the classes, I was doing well,
Mm-hmm.
doing good, bad, this and that and the other. And that's just how college is. Just learn from different opportunities of what you can and cannot do.
Yeah.
So after that, I was like, you know what? I gave this administration a good somewhat years and stuff. Now I want to do another major that I want to be qualified for what I wanted to do because business administration is what I wanted to do for like business attire and stuff. What I wanted to at least get a hint of what I wanted for my future, but I wanted to see, and I thought that what did I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, then I picked up on the little things of what I like to do. I like doing videos. I like taking photos, photography, and stuff. So I started doing that and changed that for my major.
Mm-hmm.
So on learning, so I changed my major from business administration to now. When I was in community college, I changed it to photography and video production.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do.
Okay. We may have to talk after this, but in the meantime, let's get into these questions if you guys don't mind. When you were younger and people used to always ask you what did you want to be when you grew up, what was your response?
Well, when I was younger and people would ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up, at first I used to say a lawyer. I
Okay.
used to want to be a lawyer because I used to like to argue, and I thought that's all lawyers did. But come to
Okay.
find out it was more to it than that.
Mhm.
Then after that, I started, whenever someone asked me, I wanted to be a doctor. So since I was younger, I have always wanted to be in the medical field. Over the years, that has changed. Obviously, I'm a nursing major now, so that's changed.
Mhm.
But I've always wanted to be in healthcare. I used to always say I want to be a doctor. And they're like, well, what kind of doctor? I'm like, I want to be a surgeon. Well, what kind of surgeon? A neurosurgeon. So I
Mhm.
always wanted to be in the hospital. Like, ever since I was younger, I can remember that I always wanted to do healthcare.
Okay.
And things have changed, but I'm still in the healthcare. I just didn't want to. As I got older, you learn different things. And being a surgeon, especially a neurosurgeon, that's a specialty. So that's like very tedious and serious work. And
Mhm.
I don't think that I'm up for it anymore. I don't think I'm up for it anymore. But nursing, and also I'm a people person. I like to connect with people. So being a nurse, you're taking care of the patients, you're talking with them, you're with them more than the doctor is really anyway. So that was kind of the balance for me. I can still be in the health career, and I can still be a people person. I can still talk, interact with people. So being a nurse is what I decided to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. With you saying that you wanted to be a lawyer, it kind of balances in that way too. Because when you're in the patient's room or whatnot, it's like you're able to vouch for that patient as to what their
Yeah.
symptoms may be and stuff like that. And even if they have a doctor to come in and say that no, this happened, but you were actually right there to say that this was going on, I think you kind of
Yeah,
have
you're a
that in there.
patient advocate.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, patient advocate. So that's wonderful. That's really good. Jay, what's your what did you say you wanted to be when you got older?
Well, when you sent this question and now asking about it, the first thing that came to my mind was all my teachers and everyone else has asked me that since I feel like everybody has asked that in elementary.
Mhm.
When you first came to this earth, they say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Little kids will say, "I want to be I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a doctor." But Trent says she wanted to be a lawyer. For me, I loved animals and this and that and the other, and I wanted to be a veterinarian. And as soon as I loved animals, I said, "Oh, I can't wait to be a veterinarian." This and that.
Mhm.
I started studying up on that in elementary, and then after that, then came from second to third to fourth to fifth grade and stuff. And as soon as I started getting older and older, the more I learned that being a veterinarian requires a lot of science, and I couldn't deal with science.
Really? Wow.
I couldn't deal with it. My favorite subject which was so crazy, was history. I really liked history. For
Okay.
some reason, I liked history. And after I was still learning, I'm like, okay, I still want to do like my veterinarian stuff because that was my go-to. Like I was still stuck to it. Like I felt like back then I was like, that's the only thing I was really living up to. Like I want to be a veterinarian, but didn't know that I can have a different perspective and a change, that I can do something different. So I'm like, you know what? I gave up trying to be a veterinarian, not only because I didn't like it much as science. Like if I wanted to still do science
Mhm.
to be a veterinarian, oh yeah, most definitely I would give it probably a second chance.
Mhm.
But seeing the course of path that I am right now and how I'm doing, I already know a goal set that I want to do now and what I'm good at.
Okay.
So for me, when people were asking me that, I wanted to be a veterinarian so bad because I love to take care and just nourish just animals in general.
Okay. So then, would you have you ever had a pet of your own then, so that you
Oh
can?
yes, of course,
Yeah.
of course. I had my very first dog that I had was my father that he got me when I was little, and it was a German black lab mixed with a German Shepherd, and her name was Zeta.
Mhm.
And sadly, she passed away this year. God rest her
Oh.
soul. it was a tough situation, but she still lives in our hearts to this day, and that's why she was the first go. She was like my very first best friend. And that's why I was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't. I was like, this is the dog and this and that. And now the go-to now, how we living in the 21st century, everyone's saying that on social media, like we don't deserve dogs because they're so precious and kind, and like they see more than us humans see on life in general. So it's like, okay, that's why I was like, I love dealing with animals. I love hanging out with animals. I like to. You hear different. What's the thing? You hear new stuff every day.
Right.
Of what? Just basically, you don't see it. You see it on your phone. Yeah, as an update, but you know people, and they say it to you up in the top of their head, and be like, "What? Really?"
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's interesting, like you said, and then you say you're a history person. Just finding your niche as you were getting older, I know it does change because I know for me it was constantly changing, and I'm just one that's kind of, I wouldn't say I'm a talent hoarder or career hoarder. I just find a lot of things that I'm interested in, and I still try to do it, even when I was younger. So. But I still try not to overload myself. That's one thing I try not to do, because if I was one who tried to go to college to major in everything I wanted to do, then I'd be in there for a long time. So I just had to, buckle down and decide, okay, what is it that I want to really focus on? So that's
really it's really what you and Trina said. Like, things change. You can think of one thing that you want to do and keep up with it. And then next thing you know, you go around that corner, you see something new, you want to give that a shot.
Yeah. Okay, so then since we're talking about the young ages, both Trin and Jay, are there things that you're learning now about adulthood that you kind of didn't have a heads up on when you were younger? Like, if there's one thing in specific that you kind of noticed now that you was just like, yeah, I didn't get that heads up on this when I was a kid. What would that be?
In like the aspect of like life, or like, what do you mean?
It could be life. It could be life. It could be, the situations that you are dealing with on campus, or if you're in the workplace or wherever.
Well, I will say, not necessarily things I didn't get a heads up on. I mean, really, like, honestly, some of the things that I've experienced now was things that my mom talks to me about, things that like my grandma talks to me about. Things that even like situations that has happened before are happening again. So stuff is getting, like repetitive, like times repeating yourself. Like, so it's not really things that I didn't get a heads up on. As far as like when it comes to like relationships and like school, like I will say school, like college, is not as hard as it was made out to be when I was younger. They made it seem like college was just like it's gonna be the hardest thing ever in the world, and that was never the case. Like, to me, it's not the case for me. College is, I think, like, I think it's pretty easy. We have help, tutoring, like, it's all types of stuff, and people made it seem like the workload was just so unbearable. And I'm like, yeah, depending on your major, like, of course, my load is not the same as like the load of somebody who is a like a math major or something. But yeah, like some things are just like easier than they were told to me. So I did kind of put some fear in my heart when I did go to college. I was a little fearful, like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna adjust? We came from this school system where not things are easy, but like it's not college work, and it's like, okay. Then I got here, and college work should have been high school work. It was just like it just doesn't. That was one thing for sure.
Yeah.
That was just like I didn't realize till I got older, like this isn't as hard or as difficult as it was made out to be for me. Yeah. I will say that.
So it's like a continuation of the schoolwork that you were doing, but just with a different focus of what you're majoring in?
Like, it's a deeper focus, and yeah, some things are hard. I'm not saying everything's easy. Some things are hard. Some things are difficult. Like, but we are going into more depth. Things are becoming, like, some things are more complicated than they were at first, but like the way people made it seem like the professors are just loading work on top of work. And that it's not like that. Like, our professors, I consider it. My professors are, at least, they're nice people to me. Yeah. Some people, professors, they got their moments. But it was just made out to be like this was going to be like a very difficult, hard, struggling time in my life. And it hasn't been that.
Okay. I got a sidebar question actually for you then, since you're still in school. And then Jay, we can get to you and what you didn't get a heads up on if you didn't. But Trent, what about this whole party life and stuff? You know how they hype it up a lot every time somebody goes to college. They tell people, don't be involved in all that as much and stuff. How is it now with those?
Well, I will say it is the same now. That is something that's more like a choice. Like it's not, and also that's nothing. It's not as easy to get caught up in it as people made it seem like it was gonna be. Like you're gonna get addicted to party, and like I've been to parties, I've been out, I've done things, and it's not like something I was like, we're doing this every Friday, because no, we're not, because I always go to sleep.
Right.
No, like it was never that for me.
Yeah.
Like it, and it is people I've seen who were in school and they get caught up in like the whole party promotion group, and it's people telling you, oh, you join our group, you get in the parties for free, so they're at the parties every Friday for free and stuff like that. Now that I've seen, but I don't think the party life is really what it is, especially when my school's located. I'm in VR. Yeah, we're in Louisiana and you think in New Orleans, we think Louisiana, but it's not like that for real.
Okay.
It's really not like that. Like that's another thing that's also like really a myth, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like I said, that's a decision, a choice you made. Mm-hmm. That's on you if you get caught up in that,
And also that person's discipline. Like you got to remember that, you got loans that you're applying for, grants, whatever it is, however you're getting financed, and that can be possibly used against you if you choose to, not handle yourself properly as a student who's actually being funded with all these, programs and things. So, it makes sense to have that, like I said, self-discipline like you're having, which is very wonderful because you said you're at HBCU and that we kind of get that those are usually known for, wilding out and all that craziness, but you have to actually be there to know, like you're saying, that it's pretty much different than what people say as opposed to anybody who ain't really been to the college that you're attending.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what that is. So Jay, let's hear from you. Was there anything that you didn't really get a heads up on when you were younger with what you're dealing with as an adult or a young adult right now?
Yeah, there's a couple of things, and I'll say that just in life, just in general. But I also want to mention too, for what Trin was explaining, like she knocked it down on point with that. It's when you asked her about parties and stuff like that for college, mm-hmm. It could be different. It can be colleges from different campuses, and also for even I was in a community college. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's a choice that you have to make.
Yeah.
Or if you have a good friend, they'll tell you if you want to do that or not. But it's really a choice for yourself to make that you can do it. And trust me, I've been asked a couple questions. It's surprising for me when I went to a community college that there was a lot of parties and house parties to go to. And I wasn't even full aware of it. I thought that I was going to go to my classes, do this and that. I met a couple of new friends and stuff around campus and classrooms and the cafeteria. But man, I never expected to be a good couple amount of parties around the area mm-hmm. to happen like that. I expect to be in other types of colleges, though, which any college in general has parties. It can't be not one, but mm-hmm. it may be different here and there. But now in this time, it hasn't changed at all for you to make the decision on if you want to go or if you want to focus, and may go on the next time when you want to focus on your studies. And there's different people out there. I don't want to speak out of anyone to say that, oh, I do this or I do that. Mm-hmm. Different people have their own aspects of what they want to do, but that's on that point. And Chen killed it. Like that's really the same same main point. Like that hasn't changed at all whatsoever. Yeah. But for life in general, of what I would say when I was young, I didn't get a heads up, but my parents were just nailing it on my head so many times. Mm-hmm. It is saving, being aware of people, mm-hmm. working hard to be up in the motivation and focus, just to pay attention. And my father always says this to me, and my mother, is to make smart decisions.
Yeah.
Now, I would say for saving money, that's the one thing that makes the world keep moving around is mm-hmm. saving. Yeah. I was young. I was ready to work. I want to have some money in my pocket. It's like no other feeling in the world when you were young. Like you see $1 on the ground, like, ooh, yes.
Yeah.
You feel like you're a millionaire. You feel like, oh, I'm gonna get this and that. Where you want to spend it quick.
Mhm.
Now parents see you like, okay, that's a little phase of here and there now. But now it's crazy is that kids now, when they see money, they want to save instead of spending it on like some Smarties or some Skittles or anything else. Like they know how to save and seeing other people save to build up to something worthwhile that they want to do. I wish I had that type of motivation when I was younger then, because when I see money, I want to go get some sweets, go to GameStop, give me a couple games to play with,
Right.
something like that. I was young at that time. It was different from back then to now, but I wanted to keep that urge. I wish I would have kept that urge ahead of myself to be like, oh, I want to save this and that, but I kept spending so much money on just little things that I did have that are useful and stuff that weren't useful, which I want to go back to my past self and just smack me behind the head. Like, what was that? Like, let's go back to the receipt for what you just bought.
Right.
That you could have saved up for what you had that you can't work for or be helpful for in your future self.
Right.
So that's the more important stage is saving, and there's nothing wrong with saving. Yes, there's a lot of expenses to it when you gotta spend money on the most important stuff, which is absolutely like living in a living apartment, or it's buying groceries, doing car expenses and stuff like that. Anything in general is saving and spending. You're going to spend an amount of money of what you're going to do, or you can save an amount of money of how much the work you put into or what you're doing for your own self. There's no doubt about it. And when I say for people as an awareness, it's that yes, you'll see people seeing how good and progressing that you are, and they'll take that as an advantage.
Mhm.
They'll take it when they see you doing really good and successful, and they'll see that and take it and hang out with you and be like, and I want to say, yeah, they'll use you for that, because you can be doing good and they're not a real friend and they just hanging out beside you and they just using you just for your success and money and this and that. That's not a real friend. That's not a real person to hang around with. That's why you gotta be careful for who you hang around with and people, just in general, really.
I'm glad you said that, because there are some people, and this is gonna lead into the next question though, but there are some people who do get all those privileges of being able to attend college, but yet once they get there, it's like they're not using it to their advantage. Like you have a lot of people who go to school and get all these degrees and things, and now half of them are not really using them. So why were you in college?
Right.
Why were you doing all that, using up all that free time, using up, all that ability to just do something with yourself? Not to say that they're not doing anything with themselves, but it's like what is your purpose? What is your goal for everything? So many people ask the question or say that college is not meant for everybody. So even though they believe that it may or may not be meant for everyone, what is your reason for going to college?
For me personally, the reason I decided to go to school was because I am not an entrepreneur. I'm not somebody with the grind hard until 3 a.m. in the morning mindset. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
No. So I know I'm someone who's destined for 9 to 5. I know, like with a nurse, that's a job. Like that's a 9 to 5 job. That's a schedule. I know how much I'm making. I know how much I'm being paid. I don't have to worry about, oh, well, where's my next paycheck going to come from? I don't have to worry about that. So that's why I decided to go to school. And people who don't want to go to college, I feel like sometimes these people who are flunking out, who are failing, who are dropping out, are people who were made to go to college. Like they were forced.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't really want to do it. And then people who also don't know what they want to do. That's why I also don't believe if you don't know what you want to do, you shouldn't go to college. Because at that point, you're taking classes and wasting money.
Yeah.
When you don't have to do that.
Yeah, that's
and
why.
Like then there's trade school, there's certification, there's community college. There's so many options in the world. You can start your own business. It's so many things that you can do. It's so many jobs that you can do, like, and not have a degree. But for me personally, for what I want to do and how I plan on living my life, I hate to go to school. I'm just not the type. I like me. I'm by the book, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was my reason for going to school.
And it's not to shame anybody too who decides not to go, because I mean, like you just said, some people just have other plans. You know, once they get out of high
Mhm.
school, then they're already in the business mindset. To where it's like some people just need a program or two just to get into, or the internship, or however they do it, just to get their foot in some kind of door, because they've been sitting on a lot of knowledge and education while they were in grade level school all the way up into high school, and they're just trying to find that path of releasing all that, all that talent and opportunities that they've gotten to learn about what it is that they want to do or be. But that's good. That's very good that you said that, because there are, yeah, like you said, a lot of people who, feel like college isn't for them. But that's nothing to be shameful about. It's just to
Right.
get your hustle your own way. I mean, if you if school ain't gonna be for you, then find your other option. Don't just sit around and just
Right.
do nothing. I mean, it's still chances for you to, like you also said, or Jay mentioned, is just to be an entrepreneur. If you want to start your own business, I don't think there's an age range, honestly, in starting your own business, because I see little kids having their own business right now. They started with the lemonade stands and other things. So why can't, anybody else, do what they see fit to do in their hearts?
Right. Just choose your own path. Like, do what's best for yourself. So that's different. Everybody.
Exactly. Jay, is there anything you want to share with the college thing? Like, what was your reason for going to college?
Oh yes. So I was ready for this question. So
Okay, okay.
I am saying this just to get off my chest, and I have literally half of my friends are not in college, and I am not. Also, I will agree, I am not in college right now because I've been in college for the good past couple of years now, and understand the awareness of how college deals with putting for you working, and how stressful it is mentally, physically, and everything. So college, for number one, is really not meant for everyone. I talked to my father, I talked to my mother, and I talked to Mima, and I told them how good I'm doing in my classwork and how bad I'm doing in my classwork. My mother helps me with my classwork. My father helps me with my classwork and stuff. And it'll be good days and bad days that really, when you put in for work for college and stuff, it's not really meant for everyone if you really put in your whole heart and sweat and tears into it. And I know it's a little exaggeration when I say that, but it's really from what major that you're trying to work up for, and what you're really trying to do for it.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to college, and if you're that smart for it, and then you doing this and that, you picking up the grades, and you got it from this and that and the other each years that you've been progressing, and then you finally made it and graduated, and then you go ahead and put it on social media and saying that, yes, it's been the hard work and this and that and the other. All you gotta do is keep pushing, and you're motivating others. Okay, cool. You did that for you, and you made that as your goal, and you got to where you are. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That's for a person that's telling people to finish college, or if you can't do it, go back to it, and if not, oh well, forget it.
Mm-hmm.
There's different people that they'll shame you for not finishing college, and people that telling you, oh no, don't give up, go back to it. Or there's people that finish college and saying that, you know what, do what you want to do. I feel like you'll have something to figure out for yourself in your life. There's different types of aspects of people like that. Now, for people that go to college and go for the 3-year or 4-year and struggling and switching majors and doing this and that and trying to do after studies and staying after campus hours and stuff and feel like they can't do nothing, there's ways of different people that don't finish college, and they need to have a backbone of things. If you don't want to finish college and you can't do it, yes, there'll be hard times that you need to tone yourself, take a break, and just think of what you can do and have a backbone of a good job. Because for me, I'm blessed enough that I got the job that I am right now. I'm working at 8 to 5 in IT with my father.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a backbone for myself that okay, I've been understanding the stuff of business administration. I know how business works.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I studied for video and photography. I've been doing that, learning about that, and love doing that. I've been doing photography and doing video arts for a good while since I've been growing up, just from doing just like the little skits and stuff that they do now on the apps on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and all this. And that's just a little get to for everyone wants to get out of. That's a little shortcut what people like. And some people say there is shortcuts into life, and there's no shortcuts into life.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it. You can't make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a way that when you pick up your phone, it's a shortcut way to get into fame and glory, really.
Yeah.
And just ask for that. For people saying, oh, no, I don't need to do this and that, I don't need this college or whatnot, I got this and that. If I just put my heart and soul into this, then that's my backbone. I can work up to it. And it's crazy is that it works. It really works. It only works if you have a backbone of a strong work society that you got, and if you earning enough money for it, then by all means, then keep on. I'm just saying, just keep on doing it then. If you feel like you got that, as long as you're earning stuff from it, then okay, I see your standpoint. And you gotta rule 1, rule 2, and rule 3.
Mm-hmm.
I want to suggest people just not to leave out of college and don't have anything, don't have a backbone, and you're just gonna fall and plummet. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to see nobody just fail, just not succeed. That's no option. Yeah. And I hate for that, just to see only one of my friends was about to do that. And I saw them about to plummet, and I told them that you don't need this and that. I can't say word for word what I told one of my friends, but he found a great job. He's working at 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, and he's finding a good establishment what he does, and he's doing music. And he's got his own plays, still working up to it, doing showcases left and right. And I'm here standing back. And I told him that, what happened to you saying that you didn't want to do this and that for college?
Yeah.
And you just didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
He said that. You said you were right. I did learn the base what I was doing in college for the past this and that year. And I just didn't want to do anything. And I just want to sit and just not do whatever, just want to sit in the corner. But I motivate him for it. It's okay for you not to succeed in college, but you want to get out of college and take a break, but don't want to plummet too hard and take that as to heart and think that you're not successful.
Yeah. I got to
say. Want to do
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying that if you just want to do it, do what you want to do for your part, and you may earn something for it, and then it can pop up out of nowhere, and you have no idea how that's going to change anything. And then look at you right now.
Yeah. I got a sense that both of you are great leaders, and because I know, Trinity, you mentioned being a people person, and of course, Jay, with you supporting your friends the way that you are, it's much needed right now, because I'm actually about to tie both of these last two questions in, but tweak it a little bit, just to make sure you understood it when I was asking it. With the whole preparation thing, when you guys got out of high school, you already knew that was the time for you to just leave from the nest, as they say. So what was that preparation like? And then how can you, or what tips do you have for other teens who are in that preparation stage from leaving, that grade level mentality to that adult mentality? And what are you able to share on how how their responsibilities are going to change and how they're going to be more independent rather than dependent, because at some point these kids are going to end up growing up and leaving their parents' homes to be on their own and taking what they learned in the household and applying it to their own families and lifestyles. So my question is, what was your preparation like from high school or being a young person to being a young adult, and what tips or advice would you have to give to someone else?
I would just say, like, advice. I would say that no matter what you do, don't give up. Like, no matter what odds may be against you, I don't know who you believe in, but I believe in God. So God can get you through whatever. God, He prayers, going through college, especially if you're going away from home like I did. I'm 8 hours away from home. I'm out here. This was not my first time being away from home, because I'm not somebody who's like really, attached to my mom like that. So I didn't have a problem leaving. But I'm away from home. I'm in a place where I don't have family. I'm meeting new people. I don't go to school with anybody who came from my hometown. It's just me out here. And at first, it was a little like, well, I am just out here by myself. But talking to people, getting to know people, making connections, that's important. Like, don't be afraid to talk to anybody. Don't be closed in. Be more open. Try new things. Be open to new opportunities. Because you never know who you're talking to. You don't know who's in your class, who you're sitting next to. That could be the next president.
Yeah.
That could be the next person of a Fortune 500 company. You don't know who you're talking to. Always be open-minded. I will say be punctual when you come to college. Be on time for stuff. Don't be late. You don't have to go to everything. You don't. It's okay to miss out on some stuff for something more important. It's okay to miss that party because you're not doing good in science, so you need to study. It's okay. Because, like, college life, there's going to be a party tomorrow. There's going to be a party next weekend. It'll be a party the next day. You're not missing out on anything. I would also like to say, for advice, for people who are the first in their families, and when I say the first, I mean the first high school graduate, the first person to go into college who's looking to be the first graduate. I say this to say, not to be selfish, but don't let your family hold you back from anything.
Yeah.
Don't let them be the ones to be the cause of your fall. Don't let them be the ones who do that to you. Be who you are on your own and stand on your own. Like, just persevere, push through. Things will be okay. Sometimes things may look down, but things will turn around. Don't give up so easily. Don't be just negative about every situation. Just think positive. Be positive, be active, be proactive in your institution, in your school, in your classes, with your friends. Make connections. Because these memories that you're making here are for a lifetime. You make lifetime friends coming to college. You meet new people. And that's some advice that I would give any young person coming into adulthood or transitioning. Things will change. You might see some things not be how they used to be when you're younger, because you're getting older. Things are going to change. That could be with your friends, your relationship with anything, how you feel about yourself, how you viewing things. Things change, and don't be scared of change.
Yeah.
Just let it happen, and things will be okay. So that's what I would say for advice for newcomers to college and young adults transitioning from grade school and then coming into like adulthood,
Yeah.
Well, pre-adulthood, I'll say, because we're still young adults. So yeah.
Man, that was wonderful. I would take that advice as well if I was a young person. I'm sorry, Jay. But it's what stuck in my head was the part when you said don't give up, because so many of them will give up. Like, okay, this is hard. Mama didn't do this, because you're so used to holding on to mama's hand in every situation and them being there for everything, to running to your defense every time. But like you said, you are like 8 hours away. Like, of course you can still call your mom, call your people, and they'll be right there, at the drop of a hat by phone. But to that person like you, who can't, go to mama's house just to be consoled when you just going through your tough times. And it's just, you got to adult this thing, like grow up,
Yeah.
mature, just mature. It's not really a scary thing, but it's a thing of awareness
It's a new
for
thing.
yes, and what you have instilled in you. Because I guarantee that a lot of people who are out here on their own, they are finding some way. If they like Jay said, you learning something new every day.
Every
Just
day.
just because you didn't learn that when you was in the household, it's your chance to learn it now, so that you can make a positive impact. Like you were saying, just stay positive. Be more effective, be more proactive, like you said, man. I appreciate you saying that. I would take that advice, honestly.
You're welcome.
Jay, what you got, sir?
I would say to be yourself. Don't be any other different character, because nobody want to understand the real you. Be yourself. Achieve your goals. You will have your ups and downs, but you'll get right through it once you figure out the way how you do things. And then just follow your dreams. It could just it's oh man. When I say just follow your dreams, because I have it on my door whenever I leave the house or come back to the house, and just when I get in my room, I have it a sticky note on my door that says just follow your dreams or achieve your dreams.
Yes.
I always, wherever I leave out of my house, that's my motivation. It can be anything that goes through my head or what I do. I do videos now on my YouTube channel. I've been doing that ever since I joined YouTube since 2014, and now to this year, I got 1,001.9K on my channel, and I just went over with my YouTube team that I just now recently knew that I have about 100K views of people that browse over my channel of the content and photos that I do on here, and just show my whole artiste that I do for my channel. And it's really crazy. Like, I started just from I don't even know how many people, just see how much I was progressing. And now how it's blowing up now. And I tell them everything from college and this and that and the other, how I'm doing. I give them the whole rundown. I literally give them like a whole guideline, like a whole classified stuff from what to do and what not to do, like to do and not to do list. But it's just to be yourself, achieve your dreams. It's gonna take a lot of time and work, but it'll be so worth it. You have no idea.
Man, and I'm
whatsoever.
y'all are so knowledgeable. I'm just gonna say this for you, man. Just to hear that, to be your own motivator, to be your own supporter, because as I say in my other podcast, that's one of the things that I try to make sure that I work on the most, is being more confident in myself and what I'm doing. Not trying to look at the next person. If there's some things that I have to cut off, like you were saying, Trinity, then I have to do it. It may hurt. It may be, like, dang, I'm missing out on a lot. To me, in the end, I'm missing out on a lot of what other people are doing, but I'm tuning into a lot of what I need to be doing and working on for myself. And so with you, Jay, and this is going to tie into what you were saying earlier, Trinity, is that, we are related by blood, Jay. And to hear that you have motivated yourself and you're this young, that's the problem. A lot of the older people are not really in the position to support the younger ones that came behind them. Y'all did all this talk about how we're going to support those that come after us, the next generation, this and that. And here you have an example. He started off doing what I'm starting off doing. Like, at this very moment, this is my beginning stage of this whole podcast thing. And as y'all just heard, this young man has already started where I'm starting, and he's gotten to a different level now. All it takes is to be your own motivator. All it takes is to find your way, your path, because everybody's not going to do the same thing. Like you said, Jay, everybody's not going to be you, and can't nobody be you at all. So
Right.
no need to constantly focus on what other people are doing, because you're going to miss every opportunity that you have to be your greatest person. So I
You just
mean,
don't know it yet.
yeah, and y'all just, man, if only you knew. I'm just sitting over here just like, wow. It's just a privilege to be able to know two young people who ended up being these magnificent young adults, and y'all are already taking it by storm in your own way. And you only took the tools that you were given, the resources that were given to you, and tweaked it and made it fit for you to be the positive example that you are today. I just appreciate both of y'all, honestly, for just man,
Right.
listen. And I didn't know who to pick and choose. I was just like, you know what? But like you said, Trinity, God knew. I mean, he's the source of pretty much everything that I do. And if I don't seek him first, then everything else will just be a blur. And that's why I'm glad I was able to hear that and saying, you know what, get these two young people, get these two young adults. So I really hope that whoever may be listening got something from this, and can go out and take the advice that you all so willingly gave and apply it to their lives. So thank you once again so much just for having this conversation.
Thank you for even asking, for inviting me. I was more than happy to speak. You know, and I do hope somebody took something from this. You know, some type of advice, something I said, something Jay said, really, you know, gets to somebody, you know?
Yeah. So once again, I have Trinity Flippin and Jay Baskerville. You all continue to go ahead and be remarkable. And even greater than you are today, the next day and the day after that, and so on and so forth. And that's pretty much all I have, unless you guys have anything else.
Another thing, anybody who's listening, if you haven't applied for college yet, I do strongly suggest you go to HBC. It don't matter what HBC, because HBC family is family. And I strongly suggest that if you can, get away from home. Anybody who can, it's an experience that you will be forever grateful for. Getting away from where you came from or being around, get away from it. Just go. You ain't got to go 8 hours like me. There's some people who go 12. I know my friends from Texas, people all the way to Washington, D.C. and Howard to go to school. But you don't have to go far. It's even in the same state. You go to a city of, just get away. It'll bring a sense of independence upon you. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I do suggest that, and I do suggest HBCU. Any HBCU don't matter, because HBCU is the best, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
Yes, right. I love it. Jay, you got anything else, sir?
I feel like I think I said a lot. Everything I tried to put as much for these questions. It's just really it's a lot to say about these types of topics, and it's like a lot of people now going to college now in times like this is really rough now for just doing it at home, because the whole college experience is just to be in person. But how times are, the world is saying no for right now. So all I can say is that you can't do what you can. There's no pressure. There's no need to be any pressure, as long as you got the help that is helping you from what you need to do. And if you feel like you can't do as much as you can, there's no problem for taking a break whatsoever. There's no ifs, ands, or buts to it. If you need a moment, if you need to just relax, or you need to think of something before you make that decision, for you to be like, okay, I can't do it, make a right decision for what you can do next before you go ahead and jump off the horse. Because there's a lot of people that get off and then they think that they got it, and they really don't. They just plummet before they can even get that right. I'm like, oh no, darn, because I thought I did this. I thought I had it. No, you gotta think. You gotta think before you do it. So that's all that's all I can say for right now. There's a lot to it, but that's just all I can say. Just be yourself. Don't be a different person. Be yourself and just follow what you can.
Well said. Again, it's Jay Baskerville and Trinity Flipping. You two continue to go and be great in everything that you're doing,
yes.
and I am so proud of y'all. I really am.
Thank you so much.
So proud of y'all.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I'm glad to be here. Like, very grateful.
Yes. All right. Well, that's it from me. And until next time, y'all enjoy. All right.
Oh, yes.
All right. Talk to y'all later.
All right.
All right. Bye. Bye.